have that.
Do you ever get interviewed on your own podcast?
No. Our podcast is pretty new.
Do we ever? Yeah, I mean, we do the pod decks question of the week when we don't have a guest on. Right. We actually ask each other the questions.
We ask each other a lot of questions.
We're actually at a point where I don't know who did the last one.
Yeah, I don't either. So no, we don't.
Yeah. All right, let's make this interesting then.
Micket is my podcast. Micket is my Micket is my podcast. Micket is my.
Oh boy.
All right.
Do it.
All right.
So, right. Hey, I'm Bacon, and welcome to Micket is my passion.
Oh man, right now Micket is my passion.
Oh my god.
Here with Mike and Jim. All right. Okay. So first question. It's gonna be a total of 3 questions. That's all I'm good for a show. But
3 questions. Love it.
If you could pick any one animal, whether it be insect or animal, that's the size of an elephant, to go to war against each other, what would it be?
Wait, I'm picking one animal that's the size of an elephant to go. And it's gonna. But what's it gonna fight? Oh, we're fighting each other as animals.
Us 3 right here. We're doing that.
Oh, okay. I'm a rhino.
Yeah.
That's not as big as an elephant.
A rhino can be as big as an elephant.
If the rhino is as big as an elephant.
Yeah, the rhino is as big as an elephant.
Any animal you pick right now will become the size of an elephant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mike.
Okay. That changes the game.
It does change the game a little bit.
Wow. I'm going to go with...
Because I could go with spider cricket. Because they're just gross and creepy and they jump at you.
Yeah, that would be awful.
But they're blind.
So awful.
But whatever animal they're against would be like, ah!
But it doesn't kill them.
Right.
Is it a fight to the death?
I'm sticking with rhino.
Micket, is it a fight to the death?
I guess it's a fight till the fight is over. I mean, if he picks a cricket, he's just gone. Like, we're not going to catch him.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah. No, I'm sticking with rhino.
All right, I'm going to go with black mamba.
Black mamba.
Oh, dude, I just stomped you out of existence.
Well, you're both the size of an elephant, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have a huge snake, right? But now you got to question whether or not his snake can bite through your rhino, or if your rhino can hit his snake hard enough to kill it.
Well, my rhino.
No, I know the answer to that question. It's his rhino cannot hit my snake, and my snake can kill his rhino.
That is incorrect. The hide of a rhino cannot be pierced by the teeth of a mamba, yet the body of a mamba can be stomped by the feet of a rhino.
If the mamba is the size of a freaking elephant.
Yeah, well, what? By height or by like length?
Well, no, he's got a swirl. He's got a coil to the size of an elephant.
So he's coiling to the size of an elephant. So he's still skinny because he's coiling enough to where he's just high up. So then the rhino just runs. Yeah, he's gonna bite my ass, and then I'm gonna gore him.
Is that when we're on tour, I ask new bands that we tour with this all the time, right? And it always literally goes in this direction, where 2 people are like, "No, you're wrong," because no, you're stupid.
In this hypothetical made-up situation, you're an idiot.
See, funny thing is,
science has my back.
Funny thing
in this hypothetical made-up situation where
Jim and I don't need a reason to argue.
No,
we just can.
Yeah, all day.
Fair enough.
What's question 2? I like this.
Wait, no, wait.
Well,
you
no,
said
I
the
won.
3 of us.
Oh, the 3 of us. That's right. So what's yours?
What's your animal?
What's yours? That's true.
It would be an emperor scorpion.
Ooh, nice one.
Didn't think about that one.
Nice one.
Insect too. You said insect. And
yeah, but you know what? Your horn's on a tail. Mine's on my face. I'm gonna gore right through that shit. You're done.
No,
he's
got
man. No, the scorpions don't do anything.
It's the size of a fucking elephant.
Yeah, that means nothing.
So hear me out. I would ride it like a tank because it would be awesome, right? And in option to both animals here, my character, my animal, wears its skeleton on the outside. So it's like armor, right? It's like literally trying to hit a tank. So I could just hold. Well, I guess for this case, the size of an elephant, I could probably cut a snake in half, maybe. But either way, I can't get bit by a snake because it's like biting through a tank. It wouldn't make any sense.
Right. So you lose first, regardless.
In the sense of a rhino, yes, you could hit me very hard. Once again, it would be like hitting something with armor. I could easily hold a rhino with my 2 arms and then just blah, 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 just a few times. And it's got enough poison to bring down an animal of my size. Imagine the size of an elephant.
That's true. But while your claws are on the rhino's, like, I mean, I guess if you got me by the back legs, then you're absolutely right. But if you got me by the front legs, man, that rhino's horn is very close to your face.
True, which also I have these crazy little teeth that I could be like, yo, your eye, goodbye.
Yeah, but I have a giant sharp horn on my face.
But you ain't got no eyes.
Your eyes are gone immediately.
Well, we'll let that one sit. We'll have to get
All
our large. We'll have to test this in real life. I think it's
I like that question though.
You know, I always just to interject for a second, I had a friend who always wanted to get like a shallow pool and wrestle a dolphin. He thought it would be a really good pay-per-view. I know he would lose because he looked like Peter Griffin, but I'm telling you, I'd watch the shit out of that.
I know he would lose because he's a human and dolphins are just muscle.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll watch.
Right?
Pay. I'd pay like $20-$30 for that.
Done.
Yeah. I'll get front row seats.
Yeah.
All right, Micket. Question number 2.
Question number 2. What you got?
Could we tour with rivals?
Your favorite style of pizza, whether it be thin crust, regular crust, New York style pizza, or Chicago style pizza?
That's a good one. I'm a New Yorker. He was not born here.
Right.
He'll go into that.
That's why I'm letting you go first.
Yeah. So I know New York. I know New York pizza the way I know New York pizza, and that's just my jam. But recently I've really become more partial to Sicilian style.
I don't think I've tried that.
Which leads you towards Chicago style. Sicilian is a thicker crust.
It's the gateway drug to Chicago pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna go with New York style, but I'm getting there by way of Chicago because I grew up in Indiana, which was just where I grew up was 2 hours south of Chicago and 2 hours north of Indianapolis. So I would go to Chicago occasionally just to go kind of hang out and stuff. And we would go to a couple of different pizza places there. And so I've had Chicago pizza pretty often. And then even when touring through there, I brought my band through and like we've jumped into a couple of spots. Once I moved to New York and I actually had like real New York pizza, I was like, man, this is what it's supposed to be. This is how this is supposed to work. My favorite is grandma style, which is still square, right? And it's still like a little bit like crispy and burnt on the edges. But that's my current favorite crust. As far as favorite toppings, any pizza place I ever go to, I have to order like a plain slice, because if you can't make a plain slice, your toppings don't mean shit, because you're just trying to cover up, you know, like, oh look, I can throw some flowers on top of this salad of turds, you know, like that's just flowery smelling turds. Yeah. So I got to get a plain slice. So that's really my go-to. But I also really like a margarita pie, which is like fresh buffalo mozzarella, basil, and tomato. I like very simple stuff. I love all the toppings. I like an Alfredo pie, like you said. I like an alla vodka slice. I'm a big fan of vodka sauce. I like pepperoni, sausage, all that stuff. But if I'm going to go and I want to really know if the pizza place is good, I'm going to get a margarita or a plain slice, and I'm going to get it New York style.
Wow, fair enough. All right. So pretty much New York styles over here.
What's yours?
Well, I'm gonna go with Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
just for the sake of, and hear me out here. I've been to New York a bunch of times, right? And I feel like when I eat New York pizza,
All right, well, that's the end of the show. Thanks for coming.
you gotta have more than one slice to be really done. You know?
True. Absolutely
Oh,
true.
Okay. All right.
Now, I will counter that with for your Chicago slices, having a slice the next day is a wildly different experience.
It is. It's crazy how you can have a fresh one and then
Yeah.
a fresh one, and it's like you're trying something different.
Yes, it's a whole different world between those two.
Yeah, I feel like in New York pizza, you can let it sit on your table for 12 hours and come back to it the next day, and you're like,
It's about the same.
Pizza.
And to your point, when it comes to Chicago style pizza, and this is my biggest point here on this one, is that I can have the most plain Chicago pizza, just cheese and sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You're done. Like that's you don't need any more than that. You know, like
Yep,
you're trying
that's all you need.
that. You know, so
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Chicago place?
what is it called? I think it starts with the M.
I don't know. I don't know one that starts with an M. I'm very familiar with like Gino's East, and there's a couple of those in Chicago, and that's the one that once I always went to, because it was you went in there and it's like an institution. There's signatures all over the walls of anyone who's ever been there. I actually signed my name next to Tori Amos's name. Not that I think she signed there, but I signed next to her, and I was like, Tori Amos ate here, which I doubt she did, but
Or I just sent it by mail.
right, exactly.
There are two popular ones there. It's Gino's and there's another place, and I think they have a one in Arizona now. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes, I do. I can't think of the name of it right now though. It's Gino's,
I
and
had family in Arizona for a long time, and they kept trying to convince me, oh, no. They moved in from New York, and these guys, they make great pizza. They did not make great pizza. And my cousin for a long time was like, no, it's just as good. I'm like, no, it isn't.
I will say Chicago pizza is awesome, man. It's awesome. New York gets the edge for me just because I can eat more of it and I can eat it the next day cold. And it's still great. Whereas Chicago pizza is more like a casserole at this point.
Yeah. Right.
But it is amazing. And sometimes you get the cornbread crust, which is crazy good. Yeah.
You know what's insane? In Michigan, they call a regular piece of pizza folded in half, they call it a calzone.
Yep. Well, Michigan,
that's how you eat it.
The square, thicker pizza was kind of popularized in Michigan, like Little Caesars. Their square pizza, it's like a deeper dish pan. It's kind of Sicilian, but a little bit deeper, but not quite as deep as Chicago. And that was the Detroit pizza.
Okay.
And it's the like the burnt crispy cheese on the edge and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy how like every place has their regional kind of like pizza's just one of those things where it's like it's not Italian anymore. It's Detroit and New York and Chicago, and it's not the Midwest. The Midwest, I grew up in Indiana. Pizza sucks there.
Also, Virginia pizza. We talked about this with Chase Owens a couple of weeks ago. I went to Virginia and they said, "Hey, go to Costco and pick up the pizza."
Right.
And I said, "Excuse me? Go to Costco and pick up your pizza." And we went to this little food kiosk at a Costco. We went in the exit to get the pizza, and that's where we got the pizza. And guess what? It tasted frozen. Tasted just like a frozen pizza.
Yeah.
In a microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Virginia pizza, No go. Make it.
We're going to be doing a Pizza Hut versus Domino's Bacon is My Podcast taste test coming
For
up
all the
very
Patreons.
very soon.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story about Domino's. I'm gonna ask my last question, and then I'll tell you a story about Domino's.
All right, do it. Let's do it.
2-part question, right? If you were an Avenger, which Avenger do you think you would be? Like you're most like?
Okay, are we talking
Shit, which
like,
Avengers?
Yeah, what are we talking here? Because you're talking to a couple of comic
Because a lot of people have been Avengers.
Just the movie ones.
Okay, so just the movie Avengers, but do outliers like Spider-Man and Black Panther count?
Yeah, like let's just say Avengers in like Infinity War, like everyone.
Okay. Okay.
So the three phases of Marvel.
Right. Okay. So who would you be in?
You go first.
In those,
I went first the last time. Jerk.
Shit. Am I going by? Well, what's
whoever you think, like who you think you're most like?
Yeah.
Personality wise, it has nothing to do with like powers or anything like that. It's just like from the movies, which person am I? Man, I'm an in between Ant-Man and Iron Man. I'm like I'm like that guy.
I'm definitely in between like Star-Lord and Fat Thor.
Yes, you are. You are. You are just Lebowski enough to kind of like Fat Thor it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're very much like a Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that going on.
Yeah.
I think I'm like a Tony Stark mixed with, Paul Rudd.
Yeah, whatever you got to tell yourself.
Well, neither of them are the ones I would want to pick.
I mean, Iron Man's pretty cool. I mean, Tony Stark, come on.
All right, yeah, he's all
You're
right.
a fucking genius. You build.
I'm not a genius. I'm just talking about the sarcasm and the kind of a dick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I'm more like a Star-Lord where it's like, I just told a joke and some people get it, but most people don't.
Right.
I lose.
How about you? Which one are you?
This is tough because I agree. Like I'm kind of in between things that I feel like I could personally connect myself with. I would say between Star-Lord and Captain America.
Oh, that's an interesting mix.
That's
okay, so which parts of who?
Cap is always like honest and trying to be truthful and trying to go for a point, regardless of whether it hurts him or not.
Mm-hmm.
And Star-Lord is mostly an idiot. So I really hit there where it's like sometimes I'm trying to do the best for whatever the scenario is, but I'm also an idiot. So.
Nice.
Okay, so
I like that answer.
I like that answer too. Yeah.
Part of this question.
Okay.
Mike and Jim, who do you think each other would be? Like if you could pick an Avenger for that person that you wholeheartedly would be like, this would be perfect for you.
Right.
You're it.
I have to agree with you on Star-Lord.
Okay.
I really do because like again, like he's sarcastic. He's somewhat naive and an idiot.
Yeah.
But also an effective leader and gets his shit done.
Right.
Like so that's you. You're a sarcastic idiot that gets his shit done.
Yeah. I'm gonna immediate. I'm just gonna like beeline it. And
Right.
I'm gonna say Jim is very much like Black Panther.
Oh.
He's T'Challa.
Okay.
Oh snap! All right.
This is interesting
because it's kind of like a reverse T'Challa because
that's not T'Challa at all.
Yeah. In the beginning, he was like this, like, I'm gonna fuck shit up for my country.
Oh boy.
And now he's like, I don't care. So yeah, I'm gonna say a reverse Black Panther.
So warmonger?
No. You're T'Challa. If I could say T'Challa
All right.
backwards, I'd say it, but I can't.
A clot.
We'd have to bring it
A
up
clot?
like on the screen.
I'm a clot.
Sure.
Which almost sounds offensive.
Maybe a lachet?
A lachet?
Yeah.
It sounds like a coffee.
Right?
No, but
Sounds like a
the A
Starbucks
has to
thing.
be at the end.
Yeah, a lachet. See?
Right? It's weird.
That's what we should name our whiskey.
Good questions. Good questions, man.
Yeah, Micket, those
Very nice.
great questions. So
I have two questions for you that are probably not funny at all. But
wait,
but I think
before
they're
you
good.
do that,
I think they're
before
good
you do that,
questions.
I gotta go pee.
Oh, I don't have to wait for you.
You
can watch this later.
I don't. Okay, I guess I gotta
Sorry.
edit it.
I'm gonna tell you you're gone.
We're gonna edit this so he doesn't go pee.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a quick story while he's gone then.
Do it.
My Domino's story.
Yes.
My first job, I worked at Domino's. I was one of the guys who literally made the pizzas, and I was too young to drive, so I couldn't be a driver. So I think at the time, minimum wage where we lived was like $6.85. Right.
Okay. Where'd you grow up?
Here in LA.
Okay.
But that's, if you think about it, like you work, like 4 hours in that day as a kid, and you made like just over $20, probably 20.
Yeah.
Like that.
I had a similar experience. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll tell you about it after.
So, this Domino's was run by two guys, right? Both named Jeff.
Okay.
Right. One of the Jeffs was a little older, had glasses, and was very to the point. The other Jeff was younger, had a mohawk that was covered in his hat, and just didn't give a fuck about anything. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a very classic TV show moment. And when Jeff was at work, right? Hardcore Jeff, it was very hey, get your shit done. But when other Jeff was there, we used to go out to the parking lot, which was right in front of the Domino's, and across the street from the Domino's was a high school, right? And we used to take the little ranch packets, the little cup things.
Yeah.
Right. The little ranch things, and while the kids were playing tennis, try and throw them into the tennis court.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's my Denny's story.
That's
definitely out because now I sound like a jerk, but
You do not because
we're here.
That's part of the job when you do that. One of my first jobs ever, I was also too young to do the job for real. I worked at a Burger King.
Oh snap!
And so my job was I either mopped or I made fries. Those were the two jobs that I was qualified to do, and I would often do both in the same day. And that was it. So it wouldn't matter. I could be in the middle of mopping, and we would get busy, and they would have me run right over to start making fries. And so I would take my moppy hands and I would grab fries and throw them in the fryer and grab them and throw them in the fryer. Yeah. And I don't remember either of my managers from that job, but I do remember that whoever was the manager of that job used to just love demeaning whoever it was that was doing anything. They were just one of those people that would just yell at their employees, and they'd just be like, "Why are you so dumb?" That type of thing. It's I'm making fries, dude. I'm not dumb. I just don't care. We're
talking first jobs here.
My job is to do this: grab fries with one hand, and then the claw that you put $1 in at Dave & Buster's. I'm grabbing your fries, and I'm, then claw, and I'm dropping them in the oil. Like I'm not. It's not that I'm dumb. It's that this doesn't matter ever to anyone in life and never will. And I remember I decided that I was quitting that job, and so what I did was I thought it would be cool to like put mop water into the oil because I was too young to know that like if you put water in oil, you're a dumbass because it's coming right back to you. And so like I just like grabbed a little cup full of the mop water and I put it in the oil and everything just started coming back out at me and I just left. I just left and I never went back. I think somewhere at my parents' house there's still a Burger King shirt and a hat.
Oh,
From
no.
when I was 13. I just never went back. And I remember like it was probably a year later that I called them just because I thought it was funny. And I called them and I was like, yeah, I was wondering if I could get my last check because I never went in and got anything. And they hung up on me.
What are you talking? First jobs?
He was talking about a Domino's job that he had. And so, and he was too young to actually make the pizzas and stuff. And
I had a friend, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. They're very strict with that stuff. It really sucks. But then once you become of age, having a friend that works at Domino's is
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I've eaten a lot of Domino's in my
it's
life.
pretty sweet.
Okay, so what were you going to ask before he went to the restroom?
Shit.
I can cut that part out too. Sorry.
I can't remember what was gonna happen before you went to the bathroom.
Oh, I don't know. I nothing.
It seems so important.
It's gone forever. I don't even remember what we were talking about because we got into our first jobs and Domino's and Burger King, man, and that took over.
Well, my first job, I used to make monogot and stuffed shells
I know this. This is a
and
good
grated cheese.
story. He made grated cheese.
Well, I took the cheese. I took these giant blocks of cheese, sometimes 50 to 80 pounds,
Yes.
and I'd cut them up.
He's got to lift those. He's Cavzilla.
You should see these calves. I'm wearing pants today. You know what? For guests,
this is the first
I
time I've
actually wear
seen you.
pants
First time I've seen you in pants in a while.
in here. Yeah. So yeah, Jimmy. When I work in here, it's in my garage, so I don't have to wear pants ever.
Right. Unfortunately, I do,
Which
but
is
he
great.
doesn't. So,
So I mean, hey, listen, you don't have to wear your pants here.
are you flirting with me?
Listen, if I wanted to, I would have gotten it a long time ago.
Yeah, it's all right.
But yeah, so I'm wearing pants today.
He is.
But yeah, dude, I used to lift these giant blocks of cheese and I'd cut them with a wire and I'd grate them, and it was awful.
Yeah.
I smelled awful after every single day.
Mikey the Cheese Man. That's what they called him.
They didn't call me that. He was.
Really?
Somebody called him that.
I'm calling you that.
See?
That's fine.
Now you're called that.
That's fine. But yeah, that was my first job, and I used to make cheese. Like everybody says, "Oh, just make some stuffed shells for us. You know how to make it." It's like, dude, I worked for a commercial place.
I know how to shred cheese,
So,
dude.
I can take 30 pounds of ricotta cheese, and I can make that into something.
Right. You can make that into 30 pounds of melted ricotta cheese.
Right. Right. So if you
I'm gonna
guys
add
all
heat
want
to
to
this.
kick in for 30 pounds of ricotta cheese, let's do it. Otherwise, I know nothing.
So, Micket, what was your first job?
That was my first job.
Was it Domino's? Was your first job?
Domino's.
Nice. And your first was the cheese place?
Yeah.
My first job in Indiana was detasseling corn.
Of course it was.
Yes.
Of course it was.
Yes. So I was 12 years old, and what we would do is at 5:30 in the morning, I would ride my bike to the grocery store, where a school bus, because this was in the summer, would show up and pick up me and another 30 12-year-olds and maybe maybe two 15 or 16-year-olds that were in charge of all the 12-year-olds.
Oh no.
And they would drive us out to a farm, and we would get to this farm that was a cornfield that was probably 1.5 miles long. And there were probably 50 rows of corn. And they would take like 20 of us, and they would start us on one end. And your job was to pull the tops off of the rows, because the way corn works is they have 5 female rows and then 1 male row. And you pull the tops off of the female rows, and the male rows, the seeds go up in the air, and they get into the female rows, and they pollinate it, and it turns into corn. And that's how we have corn.
I feel like you just explained the birds to me.
That is also how babies are made. So it would be 20 12-year-olds walking through like cornfields, pulling the tops off of every single stalk, right? And they were all maybe a foot apart each for 1.5 miles.
Oh my gosh.
And it didn't matter, like, if it was hot, you sweat. If it was raining, you got wet. If it was really raining, you would step and your foot would be surrounded by mud, and you'd pull your foot out and your boot or shoe would stay in the mud. And that's just how that went. And you just no longer had a second shoe. That's how that goes. And you would just do it all the way to the end. And then they'd put you back on the school bus, and they would, or you get to the end, and then you'd shift down to the next row, and you'd go all the way back.
Wow.
And then you'd go on the school bus, and they'd drive you back to the grocery store, and you'd ride your bike home. So my first job was that, and they did it for a month, probably maybe 3 weeks to a month every summer was that. And you would just do it, and they would have all these buses that would do that. I got fired every single day. Every day. Because halfway through, I was just done. I was like, no. I'd sit down, and I'd wait for like one of the 15-year-olds to be like, where's this one? And start working backwards to try and meet me in the middle. And they'd find me sitting down, and they'd be like, you're fired. And I'd be like, oh, I got to sit on the bus now after sitting here. Cool. Fuck you. Every day I got fired. But literally at the end of 3 weeks, as a 12-year-old, you'd get a check for like $200. And you'd be like, this can buy so much candy and Taco Bell that my summer is made.
I feel
I'm going to go to Blockbuster Video, and I'm going to rent all the WrestleManias. And I'm going to buy so much candy.
That's
and
amazing.
that was my first job. It was awful.
I feel like Micket and I've talked about this before too, with like foreign guitars, like not the American made guitars. So what a lot of people don't know,
right,
is here we are on Bacon Is My Podcast. You're hearing it here first. Little American hands making the corn for you.
Right.
So the corn that you eat is made by child labor.
Indeed.
But meanwhile,
and
everybody's
the popcorn.
like, oh, you got to buy USA guitars. Well, guess what? I like my little Indonesian hands making guitars. So
they
still
into
work.
They can fit into small spaces. What good for stealing? What's good for thieving?
You know what? Japanese guitars, they're still great.
Yeah, man. There's some really good Japanese made guitars.
I love Japanese made guitars.
The what is it? The Fujigen plant, which is where they did a lot of the Epiphones and
the Strats.
Epiphones, the Strats, and then they actually have FGN guitars now.
Oh, really?
That are made still at the Fujigen plant.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I saw them at NAMM.
Not that I need any more guitars.
I saw them at NAMM a couple of years ago, and then I found them in there. They're Les Paul style and everything like that, and they kind of like, it's kind of like Orville is to Gibson, and like
Orville, like the show.
Orville, like the guitar company from Japan.
Like the popcorn?
But yes. Redenbacher.
Have you guys watched that show?
I have not. I have
No.
not. I know of it, but I haven't watched it.
Okay, so when they first started doing the commercials for it, I was like, oh, so it's like Star Trek, but like with the guy from Family Guy. This could be funny, and like I just forgot all about it, right? And I ended up watching it recently, and it's actually fantastic.
Is it really?
Surprising. Like I feel like no one talks about it. No one talks about this whatsoever.
Yeah.
The fact that why can't I think of his name? The guy who plays Brian.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane, yes.
Right.
So the fact that you just hear his voice just normally like that the whole time. If I close my eyes, I just see Brian. But regardless of that, like it's very Star Trek-y, it's very silly, but it also covers things that are applicable to today. Like they really did a good job, like kind of covering all the bases, but still making it funny.
Oh man, I got to check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a really great show.
We're always looking for something.
Can we mention for a second how when you hear Brian's voice coming out of Seth MacFarlane's face, that is more fake to me than looking at the cartoon of Brian with that voice.
Fix it.
It just doesn't hit.
Yeah.
His voice does not work with his face.
No.
It just doesn't.
Dog, though. It works with a small white dog that is
It totally works with the dog. Yeah, absolutely.
Brian.
I buy that.
Let's just fix that. Like we just put him in a dog.
Well, he does the voice of Peter Griffin too.
Yes.
So
that
maybe
makes more sense to me.
Maybe he should just talk like that more regularly.
Him with more of a nasally small, like when you look at Seth MacFarlane, the human, you're kind of like, oh, he's kind of a weaselly,
Yeah.
kind of like. So Peter Griffin's voice works. It's kind of like, oh, well, that's an exaggerated version of his voice. But then when he comes out with Brian's voice, you're like, no, I'm sorry, no.
I'm sorry. I know you guys are adverse to it, but my buddy looked like Peter Griffin, and he was willing to wrestle a dolphin.
No one's adverse to that. We both said we would pay.
I mean, I think he would make a formidable opponent.
Oh, to a dolphin? No, he wouldn't.
Immediately.
Dude, it's a 3-foot pool.
There's no.
It's a kiddie pool. They couldn't get that much speed.
They don't need to get speed. They're just a giant muscle. That tail whip would just do it. You'd be done.
I would bet on my friend.
You would lose
with $1.
You would lose that dollar.
And I would make a lot of money off that.
I would go buy something with that dollar.
He's very determined
and not let you have it.
He's also been on the no-fly list, but that's a story for another day.
That's because he wants to fight a dolphin.
Good call.
Dolphins are awesome and majestic.
Oh,
Your friend looks like Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
All right, random question.
Yes.
What's your favorite Arnold movie? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ooh.
Hmm.
You got one? That's a really hard question.
That's a really hard one.
Wow. Do you have one in mind?
I mean, Terminator 2 is...
Well, yeah,
is
Terminator
like,
2 is classic.
It's classic, but I don't know, man. Twins.
Predator's unintentionally amazing.
All right.
Twins.
Right?
Twins is pretty great.
Twins is pretty great also. Kindergarten Cop is also
fantastic.
Oh,
yeah. Junior.
Oh, man. Like, there's so many good ones.
Right?
That's a terrible question, man.
Holy shit.
There's way too many answers to that question.
Do you have a favorite?
It's a tie between two abstract movies. Turbo Man.
Oh, Turbo!
Wow,
that's great too.
Or Last Action Hero.
Also,
that's
excellent.
also a very good movie.
Also excellent. I love Total Recall.
Total Recall
is
Total Recall
amazing.
You know, a movie was awful but had a great soundtrack. End of Days.
End of Days. Yeah.
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 That had Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam on one song.
Yeah.
Like
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, another movie that he did that was horrible, but great at the same time. Somehow, just multiverse in it. Any of the Expendables.
You know what? I've only seen 2 of them. I only saw.
Yeah,
the
I
first
only
2.
saw the original.
I saw the first 2, and then I haven't seen them since then.
It's it was like you watched it for the sake of watching all of these people be in the same movie together.
Right.
And it wasn't that great, but it was still good. You know?
Right. Exactly. It was like, this is good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you were a fan of Expendables, have you watched the Jean-Claude Van Damme? It was like I want to say it's almost like a sitcom, but not necessarily, on Amazon Prime. I forgot what it was called. It was like Dan Claude Van Damme.
I'll tell you right now, no.
Oh, dude,
I don't even know that
it
exists.
is.
I'm still trying to think of Arnold. But True Lies.
True Lies was great.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was a very good one. Let me see.
Man, True Lies, Predator, Kindergarten Cop. Those are 3. Like, I have a hard time picking between just those 3.
I definitely quote Kindergarten Cop on an almost daily basis.
Commando is also unintentionally fantastic.
Commando.
I'm trying to think of some other movies he's done.
Okay, so the name of the show is Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
That's fantastic.
It ran for 6 episodes.
Let me guess, it's on Amazon?
It is on Amazon because anything can be on Amazon, including Broke Down.
Well, yeah, that's why I immediately went there.
Broke. That's not a bad
That's
thing.
the movie I was in. Amazon Prime, baby.
So yeah, that was basically about Jean-Claude Van Damme as himself,
Right.
and apparently he worked for the American government, and they made him reignite his career elsewhere, but still work for the American government.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think the best Jean-Claude Van Damme property that I've ever watched was
Go for it.
his salsa ads.
Yeah.
I think those were fantastic. Because he was like, "You just got Van Dammed."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're goddamn right, he did."
Yeah. I mean, Street Fighter could have been good.
Yeah. Could have been.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Could
Could
have
have been.
Yeah, that's all you can follow it with. It's just
Yeah. It could have at least been Mortal Kombat good.
You know, the new Mortal Kombat movie looks pretty badass.
The new one does, but let's I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
that YouTube show thing that they did was really good
Which one?
Yeah.
for Mortal Kombat.
They did like a little like a YouTube movie.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'll have to check it out.
A miniseries kind of thing. It was actually better than some of the movies, I'll tell you that.
There was a movie that came out.
I'll definitely check that out. Cool.
There was a movie or a fan made film. So okay, so you're into cosplay, you're into video editing, all that stuff. Would you ever do a fan film of like a property?
Define property when you say it, just so I understand.
Like, you know, like a comic book property or a Star Wars or a you know,
Like a Punisher fan film.
yeah, like a fan film of a particular character.
Only because I know there's so many Punisher fan films.
Actually, I've done a Star Wars short before. This was a while ago, and it was for some competition. I don't remember because I was just brought into it, and then I ended up becoming the main villain for it, which was neither here nor there. But
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was actually really nice. But like, it got filmed. We went out to Big Bear, and what's crazy is, okay, so Big Bear's up in the mountains. This is normally where people go to, go snowboarding and skiing during, winter time, and then like during the summer, it's just like cabiny, and it's that kind of woodsy feel. So on this day, it must have been like, I think it was like November or October or something like that. We went up there and we were up there for a weekend filming this short. And within the same day, right, it was super hot. It was like 90 degrees. It had rained, it had hailed, and it had snowed.
Wow.
In a span of maybe 5 or 6 hours.
Oh my God.
What?
So as we were filming, you could see us like sweating our asses off, and then super wet, and
Right.
then because now we're wet and we're in the snow.
Oh,
And
it's
Wow.
brutal.
the filming of it was just kind of, it was a little all over the place. And then like what had happened was in the end, they ended up not being able to edit it the way that they wanted to, and it just never came out.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I do have some clips from it, but like it ended up not really doing anything. So as of just recently, I've kind of wanted to dip back into that. So I've been working on some things and talking to some friends so we can do another short, and I'll just do it on my own this time, you know?
Nice. So if you're picking a short to do, is it well, I know you're building a lightsaber, so that's one. So is Star Wars the property that you feel most drawn to do something like that?
It's the one that I would say I know the most about.
Okay.
Like, and not to mention, I think with a financial budget of $0, it's the one that I could easily pull off with all the random things that I happen to have around, you know?
Gotcha.
You know, fan film wise, one of the coolest ones that I've ever seen, Batman Dead End. And I know you're not a Batman fan,
Sure.
but it's Batman and he starts off with Joker, but it's Batman and then Predator and Alien.
That's interesting. I've seen a couple of fan films that were kind of a versus thing. I know there's somebody out there, I don't know if it's a company or if it's a person or what, that's doing a couple of those, and they're doing like they did Batman versus Darth Vader, and they did like,
those are great.
yeah, those are pretty awesome. And you'll see like Deadpool versus Batman and Deadpool versus Spider-Man and things like that. And they do a really killer job on their videos. So I don't know if it's the same person, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. So there's also another one that I'm actually looking up, not being a dick and just like typing on my phone. But
It's totally being a dick.
I'm totally being a dick. But have you ever watched the show True Blood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Megan,
So
you know True Blood?
I was on it once.
Look at this
Of
guy.
course he was.
Look at this
Of
guy.
course he was. But you know what? He's not going to bring it up because, hey,
Right,
whatever.
right. Because I'm not a braggart.
You know what it is? He was like, I wonder if these guys are like that nerdy that they watch True Blood.
We're that nerdy.
Yeah, we are.
I've never seen an episode.
I've seen a few episodes in the first season, but I didn't watch any more after that. But I did like it because I'm a fan of vampires to beginning. Like I like the vampire lore. I like the whole gothic vibe. What's that?
Underworld.
Yes, I love Underworld, dude.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett's a
Kate
goddess, or Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, sorry.
Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale is a goddess.
Likes with
Oh
that.
yeah.
Blanchett. Sorry about that. But yeah, I loved how they did that. I liked the vampire Lycan thing. I really dug that series. I've heard rumors that they're planning on doing another one. I hope they are, because that would just be awesome. But so what was your True Blood experience?
You know, it was a really, really long time ago. It had to be probably around the first season just because it was such a long time ago.
Okay.
All I remember was we were in this room. We were in like a cabin that seemed to look like it was in the woods. And it seemed like they were doing some kind of like sacrifice or something. And it was really red. And I remember there being like a circle on the floor with some candles and stuff. I don't really remember too much of it just because it was such a long time ago. But
Right.
I remember vaguely doing that. And like maybe some... it was very demonic, I'll tell you that.
So do you have no interest in seeing yourself in something? Is that why you haven't like watched anything that you're in, or Is it
Um,
just like you took something and you're not really into the idea? You just kind of do it to do it? Is it a job?
no, I would love to pull like a Jared Leto and just be an actor as well.
Right.
But like most of the parts that I have in things, they've all been background things, or at least 90% of them have. And like when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's like unless it's like I'm looking for myself in Endgame. I wasn't in that, but
right.
if I was in that, I would look for myself 100%.
Right.
You know, but like I've never really like watched True Blood, and like I do like vampire stuff. The show never kind of spoke out to me, you know. So I guess I never looked for it, you know.
Gotcha.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
So the brother of Snooki.
Okay.
He was
already starting great.
Okay, so Snooki's brother from True Blood was in a Venom fan made film called Truth in Journalism.
I saw that film. I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good. If you're a Venom fan, you don't need to be a True Blood fan.
I liked how really it was cool because in that film they gave you the tension of Eddie Brock and him being Venom, but they obviously couldn't show the transformation to Venom or anything like that because.
But they showed enough of it.
But they showed enough to let you kind of fill in the blanks.
Cool. It was well done. You had $25 to make him look like Venom.
Right.
Go for it.
Like it worked. It worked. What did Micket? What did you think of the Venom film?
You know, I used to be a really big Venom fan, and then it just wasn't. I don't think it. I mean, I got off being a Venom fan long before that because you know, Spider-Man is Spider-Man and he's rad. But I wasn't. It wasn't such a big thing for me just because like I feel like a lot of times like I felt like they took Venom and they were just like, oh well, Venom's kind of a not a bad guy. And I was like, well, Venom's a bad guy. Like he's
yeah. Don't give me the lethal protector thing.
Yeah.
Because he's popular.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like a lot of when we watched the cartoon back in the day, it was very like, yo, you're bad guys, you're bad guys, and you're good guys, you're good guys. And like now we turn everything to be like Michael Keaton played the Vulture.
Yep.
Which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, totally.
The coolest version of the Vulture that's probably ever been, you know, granted he's been the only one, but
still counts.
He set the bar high.
Yeah.
It was very, hey, everybody's doing something for a reason. They're really not that bad of a guy. And it's like some of the people in Spider-Man were just bad guys.
Yeah.
Right. Like you get Venom and you get Carnage, especially.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, no, they're just bad guys.
Yeah.
They're straight up just bad guys. And there's something to that. That's what draws me to like Joker, because there's no redeeming qualities there. You know, like I can hear Thanos' explanation and go, he's got a point.
Yeah.
Killmonger too.
Like maybe, like this is not the worst idea. But then like you hear the Joker's explanation, you're like, this guy's nuts. He's out of his mind. And there's something to that. There's something that to me, like with a villain, when you have a villain that is unapologetically a villain, they're like, I ain't trying to make you like me. I don't care. Like, oh, you're laughing with me. Cool. I'll laugh with you for 10 minutes and then I'll stab you in the throat because you don't matter. Like that to me is kind of like, okay, how do you, as a hero, how do you fight that? How do you combat that? How do you when you get somebody like a Thanos or like even a Darth Vader and the Emperor, you know what I mean? It's like you're trying to create order. You're doing it in a very a very messed up way, but the ends of what you're trying to do are peace, order, things like that. That's harder to kind of like, I like that duality in a villain, but sometimes, man, I just like a psycho. I just like, I like someone to be a Hannibal Lecter. I like somebody
Right.
to be like no, dude, you're just fucked up. Like
one of the most interesting sayings that I've ever heard, and I've always thought about it since I heard it, is that like a villain can lose like a million times and always gets another chance, but when a hero loses, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely right.
So rare that you get another shot at it because like everything's screwed up at this point now. Which reminds me, another movie to add to our Arnold list: Batman and Robin.
Chill.
Ooh, well,
chill with that. Yeah,
freeze in hell.
Yeah.
Movie.
Wow.
That was my favorite Bane, by the way. My favorite Bane.
Was it?
Really?
It was Bane. It wasn't Tom Hardy acting like he's never seen anything about Bane in his life before.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
with you on that.
I get it.
I'm with you on that 100%.
Did anyone give him a comic book before that happened? Like
absolutely not. He certainly didn't read it.
He's been in, and he was great as Bane, but not as Bane. He was great as whoever could have been, but just not as Bane.
He was great as whatever character they gave him to play that they then called Bane.
Yes,
but yeah, Bane the cat. Now the thing I didn't like about the Bane in that Batman movie is that Bane was not stupid. He was not stupid muscle.
Yeah,
you know, he figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman. He was a detective. You know, like. That was an important part of the Bane character to me. So that was the problem I had with the Bane in the
he was just
Clooney Batman movie. Was that like, oh, he's this skinny dude that, you know, we put in a lucha mask and threw some venom in. Like, he's a smart guy, and that was what I liked about Bane when reading the comic. And so there's like an in between there. I liked that. That the Bane in the later movies was smart, but I agree with you where it was just like, man, he's not that character. He's a different character entirely that's borrowing from this story that was awesome. You know,
I'll agree with that. And to counter both of those, the reason why both of those were not bad is because the Bane from Gotham was awful.
Yeah, that was terrible. I forgot that existed until you just said it.
Yeah, my bad.
And I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really bad. It was
were you a Gotham watcher? Well, I know you're not DC. You don't like Batman, but
yeah.
Do you like any of the DC like WB shows like Flash or
Flash was great.
Flash I thought was really good.
Although
it was a really well done comic show, or an Arrow and stuff like that.
To say this, I didn't like Mark Hamill in it.
Really? Well, because he was kind of playing the Joker.
Exactly. Right. He played the Joker for so long. He's like, I love his work as Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Fantastic, right? But like, I think he played the Joker for so long that like some of the other characters that he plays, especially in a comic book universe, still kind of feel a little jokery. But then again, the character that they wanted him to play in The Flash was also kind of jokery.
Was kind of jokery too, because they keep trying to recreate the Joker in some way. You know what I mean?
No, that's not really fair for him. But
yeah. What did you think of the movie Joker?
I didn't see it actually. I haven't seen it.
Really?
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you think?
Like I said, for me, it was okay.
Okay.
I didn't absolutely love it. I do get the premise of it. We're not going to spoil it for this guy,
right? Yeah, that changes how we can talk about it, right?
Like I get the premise of it, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'd just rather watch Logan.
Logan was fantastic.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be like really depressed at the end of a movie, I mean, at least with the end of Joker, it was like, okay.
Oh, see, the end of Joker saved it for me.
Yeah, see, for me, it was just kind of like, oh, cool.
It was like watching a Goosebumps.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was just like a Goosebumps movie.
I don't want
just with a lot more like washing your mom in the bath.
I have a like, because Joker is one of my favorite characters, I don't want him humanized or redeemed in any way, shape, or form. Do not make him an anti-hero. Do not make him a redeemable character. No. He is perfect as like an agent of chaos that has zero redeemable qualities and is unapologetic about it. That's what makes him him. If he's not that, then Batman is worthless. Because if Batman doesn't have that level of something to go against, then he's just a rich dude in a funny suit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I do get that. Yeah.
Like,
that's
like
my, that's
Batman's
my big thing.
whole myth is that, you know, this horrible thing happened to him as a child, and he devoted his life to never letting another child have to deal with that, but he won't cross a certain line because that one line separates him from the criminal. Whereas the Joker is completely there to be like pushing that line and be like, oh yeah? Oh, you're not going to push it? What if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do that? His whole thing is like, I'm just going to be a maniac because I'm going to make you cross your line. And that's the whole reason that Batman's even interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you guys feel Jared Leto as the Joker?
Awful.
Well, I hated the look. I hated the look. I hated the look. I didn't mind his take on the Joker, though. I really didn't. I liked him as a crime
like mob
lord.
boss guy.
I liked him as a crime lord.
Okay.
Jared Leto's a fantastic actor.
Amazing actor.
He's great.
And he's also an amazing singer and songwriter. And his band is awesome.
Yes.
But I saw The Little Things, and I thought that was kind of a really watered down, weak version of Seven.
Okay. Which
is surprising because Denzel is awesome and Jared Leto is awesome, and you know, like,
so about, you know, the Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah.
Joker. They just released the photos of him as Joker in the Snyder version.
Haven't seen them yet.
Okay. It's Joker. That's all I can say about it.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I can accept that.
Well, that's what
I couldn't accept. My problem was honorary Crazy Town member Jared Leto as Joker.
You're my butterfly, sugar.
That was my issue with Joker from Suicide Squad.
Right.
His
I feel like everybody's issue.
Things, okay.
I feel like everybody's issue with Suicide Squad's Joker was his look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Because he was just like new metal band member number 3.
Right. But if you took away the look and you just had the same scenes, but he didn't have damaged on his head and he didn't have, you know, a grill and all that stuff. He's a great actor. And that was an interesting take on the Joker.
I would have accepted most of the tattoos. I would have accepted the grill because
Batman
if there was a little bit more backstory.
Yeah.
And they just never got to the backstory because Joss Whedon pulled the
well, they cut all that out.
Suicide Justice League or whatever.
Right.
So apparently we're getting a 4-hour movie.
Yeah. Micket, what did you think? What did you think of Jared Leto's Joker?
He was no Heath Ledger.
Well,
I mean, all right. So what did you think of Heath Ledger as the Joker as opposed to Jack Nicholson as the Joker?
I think that comes with the times because you got to think of who the Joker was then and who the Joker is now. That's like years and years in between. It was like,
Absolutely.
Although he's very much an agent of chaos, like the Joker then was kind of like, ha, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Now, you know, we have it being so chaotic. Like we had Jared Leto, which once again, famous actor, great actor, amazing at everything that he does, great musician. He's literally like, if I could just be rad.
Yeah. He's a super dick. Yeah. He's too good. No reason anybody should ever be that good at everything.
But I did feel that as as the Joker, he wasn't gritty enough.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't dirty enough. It wasn't evil. It was like watching someone. It was like watching the Joker try to be evil instead of actually being evil. Like when I watched Heath Ledger, you knew that he didn't care.
Right.
Right.
Not in his face,
Right.
Yeah.
like the actions that no process beyond that.
Yeah.
But then again, hey, I guess we'll see how it goes.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'd be interested to see what they cut out of the original Suicide Squad, what Joker scenes they cut out, because the parts they left in almost felt like it felt like a weird hip hop video version of the Joker.
Yeah.
And I only mean that in the way that it was like so like overdone.
Yeah.
That it was kind of like, hey, if you don't get it, we're gonna make sure you get it.
It was a little much.
And you were like, I get it. I get it. Stop. Like dial it back a bit. And then also it felt like all it was just a setup for Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Which I get because
she's
he's
a
not the
marketable
movie.
character.
She's the movie. And that's who they made the movie about. But I think it was a missed opportunity when you have someone of the caliber of Jared Leto, who will throw himself into a role like that and be that. And you have an iconic role that's proven to be iconic over and over and over again. And you're coming off of Heath Ledger, who's just, I mean, that was just an iconic version and take on the character, as much as Jack Nicholson's was. It was like you have these two huge versions, and then to follow it up with that was just kind of like there was no winning. There was no way you could
especially as I don't think it's so much there's no winning with it. I personally think that it's more of there was no winning with that, having the Joker as a supporting role.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that is weird. But how do you have Harley Quinn without at least showing the Joker? Right? That was the problem with Venom, was that you had Venom without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like Venom doesn't exist this way.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't how it happens.
The one thing I will say about the Venom movie is that I didn't hate it.
Okay. I didn't hate it. I love Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy and actually like the character itself.
Yeah.
They actually okay. So this is a lot like X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay.
Right? So they had Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson. For the first what, 20 minutes? 25 minutes?
Right.
And they captured the character perfectly.
Right.
But then the rest of the movie happened.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the movie happened and it was not good.
Then you had this other thing.
It was awful. It was something else. But I feel like Venom, they captured the character pretty well.
I'll agree with that. It's just how do you have Venom without Spider-Man?
You know what I'll say is when it comes to X-Men, how is it that both of the people that have played Magneto have been fantastic?
Well, I mean, look who they picked. And Magneto, what a great character. Like, how do you do that character wrong? Like backstory. Well, okay. Well, but backstory and everything, like that's an amazing character to be.
It's so rich in history that it's hard to be bad.
And again, a way like the villain makes the hero. Like Magneto, without Magneto, Professor X doesn't matter. I
actually like both Professor X's as well.
I do too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
fantastic, man.
Yeah.
If I know you don't own a lot of comics or whatever, but we spoke about it a couple of episodes ago. the Magneto Origins graphic novel is really, really, really good. You should definitely take a read on that.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, they actually they assign it to high school kids for learning about the Holocaust.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really good read. It's one of my favorites.
Interesting. I didn't know that they would go that far, in detail to it.
Oh yeah, it was great. They were actually gonna their initial thing with the X-Men Origins thing is they were gonna do Wolverine, and then one after that was gonna be Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
And what they wound up doing is taking the Magneto thing and just taking parts of it and putting it into First Class.
Well, his character is so dependent on the Holocaust and and the experience of his family and him as a child and everything, and the trauma that brought along that. So it's like he's a hero if you're one person,
right?
And he's a villain if you're everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what makes his character really cool is that you have this, like sometimes like if the X-Men are pushing a line that he's agrees with, well, he's a good guy then.
Yeah.
Because he's got his set of rules and he's got his where he wants things to go, and it doesn't matter. That's where he wants
Dare
to
I
go.
Dare I say this? Micket, I don't know if you're a wrestling fan or not, or WWE, WWF. Magneto is the CM Punk of comic books. Because he's always him.
Right.
He's always him, but
we are also wrestling fans on this show, so we've interviewed a wrestler and
so
what's that?
I said I used to be a wrestling fan. It's just been a really long time.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm not all up to date. I definitely got a story for you guys that I'll have to tell you on another podcast one of these times. It's a long story, but let's just say I went to WWE with I guess he plays the brother of Dexter on his show.
Okay.
I've never watched it.
Yeah. Bane.
Yeah.
He's the ice truck killer guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so I went and I watched WWE with that guy and Billy Gibbons before.
Oh wow.
That's
amazing.
I'll explain it on another podcast because it'll take a while.
All right. I came so close to meeting Billy Gibbons about a year and a half ago. My girlfriend works for Joan Jett, and so she does lights for her. And so I've been fortunate enough to actually be able to kind of like sneak my way onto a bunch of different shows and meet a lot of cool people that way. And Billy Gibbons is one that man, I've always wanted to meet, man. He's just seems like the coolest dude. I love ZZ Top. And we were almost in to see him when he was doing a solo show. And it was just like, he was like in a room by himself. And he was like, I don't want anybody to mess around with me.
Yeah. He's one of those people that like, he's just so iconic that you're just like, no, I won't bug you. Just
right. Yeah. You're like, I'm not going to push the issue here.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think because we've been going so long, he needs another Poddex question of the week.
Yeah, we might have to stretch this over 2 episodes now. I'll tell you. So this might have to be 2 episoder.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which happens.
Is good.
Which happens.
Yeah, it happens. So once again, folks, you need to go to poddex.com, use the promo code BACON, and yeah. Now we're gonna let Jimmy shuffle solo. We have from the decks now. We have the episode deck, the interview decks 1 and 2. We also have the what the heck deck, and we have the would you rather deck. So which one are you feeling? You feeling interview, what the heck, or would you rather?
What the heck? But you have to shuffle it with your chin.
With my chin.
Yeah,
I can't shuffle it with my hands.
Yes, he can't shuffle it with his hands.
Good luck.
So yes, I will try and shuffle it with my chin. All right.
He's so awful. He's so bad at it. It's amazing.
I did it on my chin.
It doesn't matter. You're still bad at it.
Suck it, dude. I did it on my chin.
Do it on a flat surface.
He'll
do it just as bad.
It's gonna be very much the same as it was on my chin. And
he lived in Vegas.
here we go.
There was not. You didn't even do a sound. You just kind of went. You just kind of.
That's for the ASMR.
Shoved them next to each other.
ASMR people.
All right.
So, I'm coming up to the camera. I'll fan them out. You tell me where to stop my hand.
Stop.
All right.
The very last card.
If you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last. All right. So, in the What the Heck deck, Micket from Rivals. What's the website for Rivals?
www.wearervls.com.
Cool. From Micket from Rivals, www.wearervls.com. Have you ever had anything waxed? And if so, what?
Oh, God. My mustache.
Really?
Why?
That
Why?
sounds so painful.
That looks sacrilegious.
I'd rather have my legs.
Yeah.
My upper lip could be painful, man.
I'll tell you right now that when you have a full-on mustache and you get it waxed, it's just as painful as you think it is right now.
Oh my God. Wait, so you didn't shave it down first. You went just.
This was a long time ago, so I didn't have all of this. Like, it wasn't
right.
as it was probably a little shorter than this, but yeah, we just went for it. It was yeah.
Man, why?
It wasn't even a dip. It's like we were just trying out waxing, right? Because I did my chest, that was also terrible.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, let's try the mustache. And yeah, I'm a little scarred from that now. So
you'd already done your chest, which was terrible. And we were like, let's try the mustache. And you were like, yeah.
Well, I don't know about everybody, but my chest, it bled a lot.
Yeah.
So
and then the mustache seemed like a good idea to go next.
You know, when you're in that moment, you're like, back now. Like,
you're like, man, my chest is bleeding. Put it on my upper lip. Let's see what that does. Wow. Well, you know what? Props to you, man.
That does sound awful.
That sounds terrible.
It does sound awful.
Do not recommend.
Hey, and you know what? If anybody out there was wondering, now they know. Now they know. So this is why it's important that you did it.
Yeah.
Science.
Right? Science.
Somebody's got to do these things so that you don't have to, people.
This guy's Mr. Wizard. All right. So what we should do is definitely get him to plug his stuff.
Yeah. But at this point, yeah, we should probably have you plug something. Now we'll definitely have everything. We'll have links in all the descriptions, and you guys should definitely. I mean, come on, if you're not ready to go listen to Rivals at this point, then who are you? You're not our fans. Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah.
Why'd you stumble on the show, and why are you still listening?
Yeah.
What are you, stupid? So Micket, please plug away. Tell him what's up.
Okay, so this will be very simple. Let's see. Facebook, we are RVLS. Twitter, we are RVLS. Instagram, we are RVLS. www.wearervls.com. If it's got we are RVLS in it, you can literally find us on absolutely everything. except for Spotify and Apple, in which case we're just rivals. You could Google us, you could YouTube us, you could probably find us on Friendster or Bandcamp, you could find us on SoundCloud. I don't know, but we're out there under We Are Less, like literally everything. And then for me, it's just Micket X. Like you can put me anywhere, and like I'll probably somehow come up, except for
Okay, but something we haven't brought up yet is your clothes, your t-shirt stuff. Because I ordered a shirt. I have a shirt.
RoboCop shirt. I was like, I purposely wore this shirt just for this.
You made that?
No, God, no. But I'm very proud how dirty it is.
I noticed your RoboCop shirt.
It is fantastic.
I'm a big fan of it.
By the way, I'd buy that for $1.
I would buy that for $1.
But what's rad is it came in a box that was shaped like the VHS sleeve for RoboCop. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's amazing.
God, it's perfect.
But are you still doing like the Already Dead stuff?
Yeah, briefly. It took a little break just because I started school and whatnot. But yeah, I'm still doing it. I actually started looking into doing some custom decal stuff for it. Yeah, like I'm gonna put out some new stuff soon. I'm trying to I notice a lot of brands. It's like, well, not brands, I guess, but like a lot of bands and a lot of merch that I see. It's a lot of like t-shirts, right. T-shirts, right? And I love t-shirts. I wear them every day. But you can only own so many t-shirts from a company, right? And I was actually explaining this to a friend the other day who also has a t-shirt company. Is that like I'd like to take Already Dead and branch out a little bit and try some other things. Try like, I don't know, necklaces or leggings or hats or cars. I don't know, something random, but just like something more, so that's why I'm like trying to just look into different things that I can put Already Dead on and design out some cool work for.
Nice.
We'll have a little discussion after this because
I appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit.
We have some cool sites that this guy turned me on to with merch ideas and stuff, so we'll talk after this.
All right. Yeah.
So
Micket from Rivals.
When you have new music coming out, right? It's not just where to find you. It's that the fact that you guys have new stuff.
Right. Well, this is also the second episode.
Yeah. So
the stuff is already out.
Depending on when you hear this,
by the way,
probably already out.
We've been talking long enough that congratulations on the new record. It's great.
Good old Sad Looks Pretty on Me, right?
It's doing really well from everything that I'm seeing.
What's funny is that saying, Sad Looks Pretty on Me, my singer got from another singer who had said that to her. And she was like, hey, can I use that for a song? And they're like, yeah, totally. And like, it's funny because I feel like that's kind of like a good definition for myself, for people who are sad or something like that, or just anyone. I feel like anybody in their 30s right now, but like, sad looks pretty on me, and I guess that's all right.
Yeah. I tell you what, that line definitely. The line in the song is a little bit different, but that line really stuck with me throughout that too, and I felt the same thing, and I was like, man, what a great, like, that makes so much sense. Like it's a defining, it's like. Which is terrible. It's terrible that that's such a defining line, but it really is, and it like captures so much, and that's why I brought up before about lyrically, like, man, what a great line, and what a great way to phrase it, and what a great way to put it out. So definitely. We both know a bunch of people that now, if they saw a shirt somewhere that said "Sad Looks Pretty on Me," they would immediately buy it. So.
Keep an eye out.
So there you go.
All right, guys. Well, this was Micket.
Yeah. I'm still Jimmy.
He's still Jimmy.
This is Mike.
I'm still Mike.
Mike, where can they find you and find your stuff?
My stuff is at personally is me, my own self, Mike. I have solo stuff as me, my own self, but then also I have a band that gets together sometimes called Something Heavy. James?
I am Jimmy G. If you find me on Instagram or Twitter, it is Jimmy G's Shoes. And yes, I take pictures of my shoes and my feet on different places and different stages and different things.
And if you need to know about Bacon is My Podcast,
yeah, Bacon is my
everything
podcast.
Bacon is My Pod.
Bacon is my pod. I'm also in a band called Craving Strange. So if you look for Craving Strange anywhere, cravingstrange.net. We are also on the twats and the grams and the faces. So find us on all those things as well. We have new music coming out as well. And Micket, one more time, if everybody's going to go to one place to find you that's going to lead them everywhere else, where is that one place?
Let's go with Facebook. Facebook.com/WeAreRVLS.
Nice. So everybody, right now, go to Facebook.com/WeAreRVLS.
I've only been saying it for fucking 3 years or 4 years, something like that.
He really has. He honestly has. He's been pushing it for a long time, and rightfully so, because the music's fantastic, and the new music also. All the singles that you've been putting out are awesome. I can't wait to hear the whole record. I'm a fan. Mike's a fan. Mike's been a fan for a long time, and Mike's known you for a while. For me, it's our first time really getting to talk and everything, and I have enjoyed it absolutely so much. So thank you so much for just kind of hanging out and letting us get to know you a little bit more. It's cool to know the people behind the music, and that is it just makes you like the band and like the music even more. So people, support these guys.
Agreed.
Support these guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our drinks are gone.
Our drinks are gone. So that means
the show's over.
Get out.
The time is here. The show is done. And we've got no more beverages to drink.
You know what? I'm gonna do? Because I can do it. I have the power.
He has the power.
I'm gonna go.
First time ever. Never go to one.
Never, ever, ever going to one. Later, guys.
Thank you guys so much. It's been awesome. Have a great night.